Okay, this one's about my friend Glen. Fought in Korea there. He but, got back from Korea and didn't know what he wanted to do. You know, seen a lot of whatever. And went and bought a bike, picked it up, and, grabbed some spare pants and shirt and some underwear, pocket full of money, and headed west on this bike. Now you have to remember, at the time, there wasn't no interstates. This is pre Eisenhower interstate system. So when you were driving west, you had to slow down through every little town and burg and village and whatever, because that's the way the highway system was set up. You came up to a populated area and you needed to slow down. And some places still didn't have roads, so to speak, not like we think of today where everything's paved. Still had some dirt roads out there. So anyway, Glenn picked up his stuff, got his bike, headed west, and made it to, I think he said he made it to Missouri or somewhere in the Midwest. Found out that he didn't have enough money to continue on with his trip. So before he joined the Army, he'd had bikes since he was a kid, and been riding for years already. So he found a dealership somewhere, Harley dealer, I think he said. Of course, that's pretty much all that's going to be around at that time. And got a job working there. He convinced them to hire him, so they hired him. And you have to think about it. Back then, labor was cheap. Parts were expensive, labor was cheap. So he got a job, probably not making much money, but I think he said he worked there for 3-4 months, whatever. Got tired of it, left. Headed west even further, made it to, I think he said he made it into Kansas, western Kansas, or somewhere out there, out in the middle of nowhere, basically. And got a job at some little bike shop out there and worked for a little while. No, back up. He made it to Colorado, and worked at a bike shop in Colorado for a little while, gather some money up, and then move on. And I left Colorado, and eventually made it to, I want to say he went to Las Vegas, or maybe bypassed that. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, he ended up in Los Angeles eventually, and stayed out there for 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it was. Got tired of it. Said he didn't like it out there, didn't like the people, didn't like the area. So he packed the bike up, got it ready, packed it up, and left. He did say that he wasn't coming back the same way that he had gone. He wasn't coming back through Kansas and Colorado and all that, because it was too damn cold. So he went the southerly route. He went down what effectively now would be Route 10. Whatever road it was back then, I don't know. But, left California, went through Arizona. I think he said he stopped in Arizona and got a job in Phoenix somewhere at a Harley dealer. Worked there. And what these guys would do, you didn't have computer or whatever. So, Joe Blow walks in off the street and you say, man, I'm so-and-so and I know everything there is to know about bikes. Well, they don't know that. You'd be blowing the smoke up their ass. They don't know you from Adam. So they'd call whatever dealer he told me he just worked at and talk to them, and they were, yeah, he does really good work, or yeah, he's a son of a bitch. So whatever. So he gets this job in Phoenix, or I want to say it was Phoenix, could have been Tucson, who knows, but works down there for a little while. And then basically does this same thing all the way down, headed east. Worked there, worked in Texas somewhere. Said he couldn't wait to get the hell out of Louisiana and Mississippi. Actually, the whole way he couldn't wait to get the hell out of East Texas Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and into Florida. He did make it to Florida and went southern Florida, I think, and said he worked down there for a while. And so just imagine having to make this loop of the country on flathead Sportster, basically, is what it amounts to, a K model. So not the most powerful thing in the world, and, you know, shake your eye teeth out even back then. But it's what they had. It's what they knew. So it worked in Florida, then came back up the East Coast. Didn't work anywhere on the East Coast, just went straight on back up to Maryland, Pennsylvania area. And said, you know what, after that trip, I decided I didn't want to work on bikes for my career. So he went and did something else. I want to say retired fireman, but I could be wrong. I could have that confused with somebody else. Anyway, you know, just think about that riding through. It'd be like pick the oldest road that you know in your state. It used to be a major thoroughfare. You know, around here it could be 301 or Route 1 or whatever, headed north-south, or it could be 64 headed west. And you have to stop at every little town. And the roads weren't perfect. The roads were pretty rough, even back then. There were, if there was a road, it probably wasn't the greatest thing in the world. And all these little towns that you stop in, you better damn sure do the speed limit and look like you can support yourself. Because especially in the South, they lock your ass up in a heartbeat and throw you on a chain gang, claiming you're a vagrant, itinerant, whatever. But that's my buddy Glen, hell of a mechanic. Built some wild stuff. That FXR that rip your damn arms out of their sockets. And actually had an Ironhead Sportster that was, whew, that thing was blazing fast for an Ironhead. Of course, nowhere near stock. It had Troc 3 7/16 barrels on it. I think he had Thunderheads on there, which are the aluminum heads, that aftermarket that somebody used to make back in the 70s. And set up more like a cafe racer looking thing for, you know. And you see this guy riding, he's already an old man. You see this old man riding this bike, and you're like, damn. We're talking riding. He ain't like just messing around. You know, he do wheelies and little donuts and circles and all kinds of crap. Cool guy. Been dead about a little over 10 years now. You know, so basically, I hadn't seen him hadn't talked to him in the past 20 years. So it was before he died that I last talked to him. And then kind of, you know, lost track. I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing, whatever, you know how it goes. Anyway, point is, stay in touch with people that you like and care about. And I know ain't nobody under 45 probably watching this, but, you know, talk to some old geezers, learn some history about stuff. You know, you think that you're doing something because you rode your bike 500 miles in a day on a modern highway using the latest technology, and it's balanced and it's just as smooth as could be on it. Well, that's great. Now do that same thing, you know, 75 years ago. Do it back then. See how that works out for you. Anyway, that's enough of that. Today was D-Day. I did a video a little bit earlier on my friend Jimmy, who was at D-Day. And this, of course, this is Glen, who was in Korea. And, you know, I hate to do videos on living people, even though I'm not giving names, well, full names anyway, out of respect for them. But you guys take care. Have a great weekend coming up here. we're heading off to the Thunder at the Rock this weekend at Rockingham Drag Strip. It's a drag race and big old event. They're having all kinds of stuff out there besides the races. So it ought to be packed, probably. It's supposed to be a nice weekend out. Anyway, take care.